Good morning, everybody. What we're doing today is we're going to replace our oil plug with this, because on the car that we're there we are. The car that we're working on today happens to be this thing, which is a 2013 Porsche Cayenne. And the problem we're having with it is that when it comes time to do an oil change, the oil plug is up almost behind a cross member underneath the car. So this is the part number of the part we're using. This is actually a power steering pump adapter. We're going to screw that into this braided stainless line that I just happen to have laying around here. We ended up cutting the end off the other end of it. We'll show you that real quick. Here's the other end. This is a low pressure situation, so we really don't have to do too much more than just crimp another fitting on. And that happens to be the fitting right there, that this hose goes in right there. And then we'll just find a piece of something to crimp it on with. Right now, well, I really don't know how long we're going to make it, but we're going to give it at least a foot of flex that this end of the hose will screw into that. The other end of the hose, which is basically here, is going to screw into this, and then this is going to screw into a valve so we can open the valve and drain our oil and not make a mess and be very convenient and handy. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, and not that this is advertising, but this just happens to be where I acquired this part. That part from those folks. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to go drain the oil. And then I'll get you a picture of that once I put it back in. I'll also get a picture of what it looks like down there when you're trying to replace this thing. Anyway, be right back. Okay, well, we've got this thing up in the air now. You see, got a jack stand over there, and a jack stand over there. And this whole piece of plastic here, this whole shroud, has to come out in order to get to the oil plug on the bottom of the oil pan. So first thing we're going to do is take this shroud off of here, and then up in there somewhere we will find the oil plug and get this thing to drain it. Anyway, that's the update. Be right back. Alright, we've got that shroud out of the way. Scoot down under here. And this cross member, oh, where's my finger? Look out, cross member, oil plug. So it's really hard to get into there to that oil plug. And as you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but if I could hold still, you can see that this oil plug is leaking just a little bit. And there's drips of oil all over everything down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that oil plug with that other alternative thing that we've got going on. But that's what it looks like. So you have to stick your funnel way up behind here to get it to drip, and if you don't do it right, this cross member will just get drenched in oil. So we're going to take some spray and spray the bottom of this thing off, get it all cleaned up, drain the oil, get all this oil and ick off the underneath of this machine, and then we'll continue from there. Alrighty, hold on. And this is how we deal with that cross member problem. That we take a string, you see a string, and then we tie the funnel up in there. And that gives us the desired effect that we're looking for. Drain the oil. That's what we're changing. Anyway, that's what we're doing. All right, here we go. Oh, and there it is. there is the finished product. I did, where's a pointer? I did take this brass punch and tap a little bit on this because this fitting was actually rubbing against the oil pan. So I kind of dimpled it in a little bit, and I've let it sit here for almost an hour and a half just to see if there was any drippage coming out of it. And there is no drippage. So this is our finished product. This is our replace the oil plug with a, what word am I looking for? My alternate plug would be a fitting that actually goes to a power steering pump. Anyway, we'll see how this works. We'll monitor it, but it goes all the way back over there and down there. Whoops. On the floor is a valve. Oh gosh darn. How do I get it back? Okay, and that's the valve, and it actually has a fitting on it, so I can put a vacuum pump on it and actually suck the oil out from now on. So easy peasy. Anyway, there we go. That's the finished product. Now I have to put oil in it and start it up and see what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, shouldn't have paused. As a matter of fact, I'm going to wrap a piece of red rubber hose and hose clamp it around this, so if it shakes and whatever and rubs, that it doesn't rub a hole in that hose against that cross member. So I'll put a piece of rubber on that, and then it'll be done. Right on. Talk to y'all later. Oh, finish up with that in the viewfinder.